Hello there!
General Kenobi!
Welcome to It Starts with Star Wars. We are Joe, James, and Nick.
Hello.
Where we'll be talking about Star Wars, all of the science fiction, and then we see where the Force takes us. Today's episode is about the rise of Palpatine, but before that, we've got Ahsoka versus Starkiller.
I love these verses that we do.
I think they're pretty cool.
They are good fun.
And just so we know, if me and Nick get in a heated argument, we have ammo now. We have these little pucks that we can throw at each other.
You're only supposed to have 5, not a whole fucking...
It's all right, I've got 2 packs down here. It's great.
Okay, well, I'm going to have... Okay, you got my 5 limit. I'm going to put them there. Joe can count them down as I throw them.
Ah, what the fuck, man?
I was aiming for him.
Friendly fire. I'm caught in the crossfire.
Collateral damage, Tony.
Right, so Starkiller versus Ahsoka.
Just want to clear the air here. So this is Starkiller during The Force Unleashed 2. So he's got the 2 lightsabers.
Okay.
And it's Ahsoka during Rebels. So she's already like...
So Fulcrum Ahsoka, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. Do we think... Like, I feel like Ahsoka from Ahsoka is more powerful than Fulcrum Ahsoka. I might be wrong.
I mean, we can go with that if you want.
I'd imagine so,
I
because
feel
she's
like
just older.
she's older. Yeah, I'm gonna say Ahsoka from the series Ahsoka. I mean, that makes sense.
I
to
still
me.
think Starkiller takes it. I don't think it makes a difference.
Okay. What's your reasoning behind that?
Have you played The Force Unleashed?
Okay, he pulls down a Star Destroyer. Yes, you're right. Actually, was that number 1? I can't.
That was number 1.
That was
But
number
he's
one.
done
But
that.
still,
Still, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Like-
it's still.
Also, does it matter if we're talking about the clone or the original? Would that make a difference?
They are both disgustingly overpowered.
I mean, to be fair, though, there are even some theories within the game itself that conclude that they might be the same person, the clone and the original. Like, like Darth Vader just wiped his memory and said, "Oh, you're a clone."
Oh, okay.
Because Yoda in Clone Wars says, "Oh, all your clones have different Force energy, but for some reason, the 2 Starkillers have exactly the same Force
Right.
ID." It's like, oh, I'm the same person, but I've wiped my memories.
Right. Okay, as far as I'm aware, doesn't he get shot through a window into space? Does that happen at the end?
That happens in the middle of the first one, but Darth Vader retrieves him.
Oh, okay. And he survives?
And he survives.
Okay.
It's
It's
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Everyone survives in space.
Leia survives that. She does it.
I think it's just Force-sensitive beings, just like vacuum of space. Nah, don't worry about it.
Good for the skin.
I don't suppose he goofily went like that and then went back
Mary
into the ship.
Poppins into the thing. To be honest, in this situation, I think it's a draw, and the reason I say this is because I feel like they would both persuade each other to join forces and just turn on the Emperor or whoever was telling them to do the thing. They just talk to each other, be like, "Oh, we're pretty much similar. Let's fight each other's side." If it was literally like PvP.
It is
style.
Yeah,
This
they have to
is
fight.
literally they have to fight and one of them has to
If
win.
they have to fight and one of them win, it probably is going to be. I want to say Ahsoka, but it's Starkiller is more.
Starkiller is more overpowered, but Ahsoka, I feel, has more experience with different types of situations. I think she's well equipped to deal with him. However, I do not think she takes it.
Okay, where are we setting this? Like, what is it? Just like Naboo
Out
green?
there.
Literally
In a field.
So in
Just
the
a field.
Just a field.
It's just them with their devices and they are fighting.
Yeah, it's probably going to be. I don't know. Like, I want to say Ahsoka, but it probably is going to be Starkiller. Let's be real.
Yeah, I mean, Starkiller, as far as I'm aware, was it Palpatine and Plagueis, was it, mate? Like, kind of force-willed Anakin into existence?
Yeah.
It's like that, but Anakin's comes out as a steroid child. like he's just like hyper-concentrated Anakin.
If Anakin had gone through the training that Maul did.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think it's interesting. I mean, anyone watching this, you let us know whether you think different. Like, do you think that Ahsoka could take Starkiller? I feel like if she had enough preparation for him,
if she knew what was coming, yes,
like she could prep for it. But I think if it was on the spot, it would be like a Ezra Kanan versus Darth Vader when they first see him, and like, what the fuck is this situation?
I mean, isn't that why Darth Vader kills him in the first one? Because he's just like, you're too strong and you're starting to rebel against me.
No, so the ending of the first game is Starkiller beats both Darth Vader and the Emperor in battle, fights one after each other. Like the first one is the Emperor on his throne, kind of watching the two just you battling it out. And honestly, I still remember playing that for the first time and listening to the music in the background as they square up against each other, because it's Darth Vader versus just this OP, and it's just the music is like, and the shots they use is amazing. Sorry, that's not the question though.
No, it's not, Nick. You're going off topic.
I'm going off topic. I just wanted to mention it because I was thinking about it.
I missed. Damn it.
Yes. Sorry, what was your question? Oh yeah, how did he die?
Yeah.
He had defeated both of them in battle.
Right.
Like both of them. The Emperor he's about to kill the Emperor, and Ram Kota, who's the Jedi, the effectively Obi-Wan of the series. He's beaten, let it go. Their ship is just, again, in the vacuum of space, just outside, and they're about to walk onto it. I don't know how that works.
Right.
But, as they're walking onto it, the Emperor quickly turns around, starts shooting lightning at the people that he's just saved.
Yeah.
And at the ship. And Starkiller just gets in the way of it and sacrifices himself so they can escape, basically.
Okay.
That's how he dies. In the first one.
See, I can now see, because I've never finished the game, so I played a little bit of the combat. I can now see why people like speculate that they're the same person, because the amount of times that people get zapped by force lightning and survive, it's sort of
but it's confirmed he's dead. Like in that scene.
Yeah.
Vader's like, he's dead.
but Vader lies all the time.
I know.
Let's be real though. I mean, if in the game he was fighting Vader and Palpatine at the same time, sorry, Ahsoka, you're done.
Yeah, to be fair, like that, So I agree with you. I think Starkiller wins.
We just agreed.
We just agreed.
Me and James just agree on something.
Something's very wrong.
But then again, if you don't agree with us, then you should let us know in the comments.
Hang on a minute, Yoda. Do you think Starkiller would win versus Ahsoka?
No, I sense this is.
It's a yes or no. Or it's a vague, like, the Force is... I cannot tell. Clouded, my judgment is.
Bought my new place of Etsy, I did. Mentioned it had a huge fucking hole. It did not.
I think I would love to see like R-rated Star Wars.
That'd be amazing. What, like a Deadpool Star Wars film?
Yeah, like a bit less goofy. Obviously, Star Wars
so more like Wolverine, the last Wolverine.
Yeah, Logan.
Logan. Yeah.
Because I would love, because like how people always do force gestures and stuff like that, and then it's always like, okay, Darth Vader's choking someone, and you can see that they're being choked. I would like for. Like almost for it to be like
their
a horror,
throat just to explode.
Yeah. I'd like kinda like I would like Starkiller to be in a room, and then he doesn't even have to like have any like motions or anything. People just dissolve, they disintegrate because he's so force strong. He's just like dematerialized.
Well, have you seen like the trailer for the second game that came out like in
probably a long time ago?
They got away with a lot of.
They got with a lot. Like in the trailer of that game alone, is just him surrounded by stormtroopers and then just doing a force repulse, like a force push in all directions. And as the force push hits each one, they all just disintegrate.
Right.
And then there's just Darth Vader at the back there just doing that and then getting up. And then, it goes onto that. Oh, it's brilliant.
But it is right now onto the main event, which
wait, hang on, I'm not done. I'm not done.
You're not done.
I'm not done. I think he would just annihilate Ahsoka. I think he would absolutely destroy her.
I don't think that. I think that he'd win, but I don't think he'd destroy. I think Ahsoka like survived Order 66, yes, technically with the help of Rex, but like she is. Like by the point that we see her in Ahsoka, she is like very experienced at not dying.
It's very true.
So I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but she would have been killed by Darth Vader if Ezra hadn't brought her into the world between worlds. Like he would.
No. But what I'm saying is, I think she'd be smart enough to know she was out. Like the reason she stays fighting Anakin, and I think she's distracted when she sees Anakin's face, and I think that's why he gets the upper hand on her. I think with Starkiller,
she knows she needs to get out of there.
She'd work out very quickly that I need to go, and she'd be she'd do enough to stop him from getting her. You know, and then she'd escaped. Like I hands down agree that Starkiller would overpower, but I don't think he'd have enough to finish her off. I think she's very sneaky.
Right.
And
getting away.
Yeah, she'd know. I mean, she learned so much from Anakin about how to stay alive. That was literally her training. Stay alive, stay alive, stay alive.
What is like the biggest force feat that Ahsoka has pulled? What's like the biggest?
Probably pulling back the ship that Maul was trying to escape in.
Yeah,
because that was a gunship going full throttle,
and she pulled it back. Yeah. So
whereas, to be fair, the Star Destroyer that what's his name pulled down.
Starkiller pulled down.
Yeah, Starkiller.
It was
pulled
heading
down.
towards him already.
It was
right?
heading towards him already, and all he did was dip the nose.
Yeah.
So it just crashed, and then he had to kind of force push it to stop it from crashing into him.
Yeah. But I think it comes down to what Yoda said in Empire Strikes Back. I believe it's where he says to Luke, "Size does not matter," when he lifts the X-wing out. So I think it just comes down to, if you really don't think it's a problem, you can do what you like.
Yeah.
And I think Starkiller is just like, "No, I can do it," so he does it.
Well, he doesn't think that at the time. It's Kota, the Obi-Wan kind of character, that convinces him. So he's like, "Oh my god, I can't do this. It's huge." So he doesn't genuinely think. He's just like, "I have to do this or I'm going to die."
Yeah. And like I said, I think he'd get the upper hand of Ahsoka, but I don't think he'd be able to kill her. She's too smart to just die. Like she's almost died like hundreds of times and lives. Like she has main character plot armor, and he's a video game character. But yes, that is my thought on that. Are we?
So we're all agreeing. We are all in agreement.
Starkiller
wins, but Ahsoka escapes.
I still think he would because he would just
I'd argue Dave Filoni wouldn't let her die, so no.
Starkiller.
He was going to let her die. It was
that would have been great.
Yeah.
Honestly, I live for
main characters just dying.
Yeah. Like I
like Sean Bean in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, sort of. Like I do love that when in series a main character dies, because then you're just like, oh my god, now anyone's on the table. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
So recently, Star Trek brought out a new film called Section 31. And
do you notice how my face just went? I zoned out.
To be fair, zoning out for this one probably is right.
I've heard it's terrible.
It's not done very well at all. And I tried my best to like it. Like, I sort of laughed. Oh, that's funny. And like, it's the show set up these characters, and then one character dies like within the first 20 minutes. The next character dies like 20 minutes after that, and it's sort of like, I'm supposed to be caring about these characters, and it's not a very good film. Anyway, it's the worst. Probably
it's got to be done well.
Yeah. So I think if you're gonna do it, you need to write it well.
Yeah, for sure.
But Section 31 just like, no, I'm just gonna kill him for the sake of killing them. It can't kill him for the sake of killing them.
It's got to be like built up to and a meaningful impact. It can't just be like, I don't know, suddenly my starship blows up, my fighter blows up just randomly with no lead up. And so, although to be fair, I'm a bit of a masochist when it comes to that, where I do love the blindsiding of like, whoa, what just happened? What did I watch? But yeah, I support that. I want more main character death in everything.
It's main event time.
Oh, that's the most synchronized I think we've ever been.
Yes. Right, so we are talking about our good old boy Sheev, our
Sheev Palps,
rotten soldier, our good time boy.
He's my rotten soldier, my good time boy.
My good time boy.
Would you like a meal, a succulent Chinese meal?
I really want
Get
Chinese
your hand
now.
off
How dare you?
So, Sheev Palpatine. He was born on Naboo, the same homeworld as Padme.
No way. Does that mean they're related?
Oh my god.
No. And that was in 84 BBY. So 84 years before the Battle of Yavin. From birth, he consistently showed psychopathic and sociopathic traits and a superiority complex.
Right.
So he was already a dick.
But what was he in the first film? Like, he wasn't a dickhead. Was he?
I watch
No,
it
I don't
with
think
great interest.
Yeah, he seemed like a pretty chill guy.
I mean,
I thought.
no, he's the Sith Lord in the
literally
first
the Sith
one.
Lord in the first one.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
He's already a dick.
Yeah, okay. Obviously, like behind the scenes, he's a dickhead, but at least like
He knows how to manipulate.
Yeah. But okay, so
he
us
knows how to
saying,
hide in plain sight.
us saying that he is a dickhead when he was growing up is kind of a third-person perspective of like we know he's a dickhead, but
But
did people surrounding him know that he's a dickhead?
he wasn't. I don't think he was necessarily like that social, but he was like. I'll go on to the next. His parents were Naboo aristocrats.
So he's rich.
Right.
He's rich.
He's just an a-hole.
Yeah, he's rich. Like, very rich family, very prestigious. One of the royal bloodlines.
okay.
So
Yeah.
he's just
Yeah.
a twat.
They probably just thought, he's not a sociopath or
He's
anything. He's
just
just
a
a,
prince.
he's just rich. He's just a rich
rich,
dickhead.
Yeah, rich, not bad.
It was on my
Yeah.
gap year.
Oh,
Could
no.
you imagine a young Sheev saying that? Just like,
My daddy only got me 3 ponies.
oh, we're about to talk about his relationship with his daddy, and it wasn't good.
No.
His father, Kosinga.
Kosinga?
Kosinga.
Isn't
Kosinga
that
Palpatine.
what that guy from Big Bang Theory says?
No, that's Bazinga.
Kazinga.
No, Kosinga.
Kazinga.
Kosinga, not
Kosinga.
Bazinga. So
Penny.
Kosinga, in the words of his son, arrogant, violent, and inept or incompetent.
Wow.
So, so Kosinga Palpatine spent most of the credits that he earned or had buying political influence and also trying to buy his son's loyalty, basically. His mother, name not even mentioned, and is just because like
Get deleted.
well, no,
She's
she's
Mrs.
subservient to Kosinga. She's literally meant to, in the words of Sheev, weak-minded and just subservient to.
Was it
to
unofficial?
Kosinga.
Was it an unofficial?
No, they were married. They had five.
okay.
He had two brothers and 2 sisters.
Right, so it wasn't like a caste system type thing.
No.
Okay.
Wait. So what we're finding out is Sheev just had daddy issues. Is that what we're finding?
No, he not necessarily. He had like the sociopathic and psychopathic, and he couldn't feel for other people. Basically,
True, but he seems to be, he's got that from his dad, because it seems to me his dad had the same thing as he did. Like,
yeah, very true. So Sheev was the oldest of 5, 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
Okay.
2 brothers and 2 sisters. He was the only one who did not hold his father in high regard.
Right.
So
okay.
all his brothers and sisters basically took their dad's word for it and was this. But so Sheev's opinion on his parents was his father was incompetent and mediocre at best.
Wow.
And his mother was weak-willed.
Right.
So subservient, weak-willed.
Can you imagine a sport like you're just like, oh, daddy does so much good stuff for us, and your brother's just like,
No, he doesn't.
he's weak, he's weak-minded,
Pathetic.
I will destroy him
Well,
someday.
it's not just. It's said in like the Darth Plagueis novel that his parents are pretty incompetent.
Yeah.
Like for the position they have, they're pretty weak-minded
Right.
people.
Right.
And and his dad's, because say what you want about Palpatine, he is very intelligent, great sense of humor, and and he knows how to get what he wants. He knows how to have political influence because it's very clear that he can do that, right? So, I would take his opinion as like fairly well into consideration of his parents. Now, Plagueis and his master Darth Tenebris had a vision of an individual completely clouded in darkness, basically, and this was literally, they had vision. Plagueis killed Tenebris because that's what the Sith do. Because it's just
what
part
they
of
do.
the code, part of the banter.
Yeah.
Sith banter. Oh,
Yeah.
mate, I killed you. Now I'm going to take your spot.
mate,
banter.
sorry about that, mate. Sorry.
Oh, it's all just fun and games, isn't
Fun
it?
and games with Sith banter.
Yeah.
Sith banter.
Yeah, as if Sith banter, mate. Sith banter. But yes, that's basically Sheev's early life, and then now we're bringing Darth Plagueis into it. Darth Plagueis was going by the name of Ego Damask. He was quite high up in the banking clan.
Yeah, I was going to say he is a banking clan member,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He was
He's one of the aliens that is on that. That's on
Right.
that. There's
The
from that
banking
planet.
clan will sign
He's
your
I think
treaty.
he was effectively the more competent version of San Hill.
Oh.
Yeah.
In the Acolyte, was he still the same race? Because he looked a bit different.
No, he was the same race. He was
Okay.
just peering around a cave.
Yeah, he's lurking.
I mean, to be fair, the Sith have this really like death decay look about them. Like they look perfectly fine, and as soon as they put the hood up, suddenly they're death decay underneath the hood.
Yeah, red eyes, pale skin.
And then they suddenly lift their thing and they're like, no, I was totally fine the whole time. I wonder,
Sir, you look ill. Take the hood off. What are you talking
well, I'm totally fine under this. Look at me, I'm beautiful. Oh yes, you are beautiful. Okay, never mind.
Hood goes back on.
So is that like a Sith? It's going to sound stupid, but is it like a Sith camouflage that they have?
You're right. You are stupid.
I thought you were about to like really
What got you that time?
like compliment him and be like, "You're dead on."
No, but Palpatine doesn't look like that under the hood.
No,
He's
but
just old.
he's not that old when we see.
Maul didn't look like that. Like, it's just Palpatine just took lightning directly to the face.
I mean,
Yeah,
I do.
I don't think that's a Sith look. I think that's just
I don't know.
embodies the dark
Because
side.
there are certain Siths where like their veins are popping out.
Yeah, like
and,
there's
they're pale and red
there's
eyes.
a Sith. I can't remember his name. His name escapes me. But there's a Sith that keeps dying and then just refuses to die and uses the dark side of the Force through the pain he's experiencing to stay alive. His body is dead, but he is alive.
Right.
And apparently he's known like as the undead Sith or something like that.
Okay.
I can't remember the name. But if you know the name of that guy in the comments, please let us know. If you find, you might
I'll look it
you
up.
might be able to Google it, like the Lord of Pain or something like that, the Sith of Pain. His body is like,
Right.
it's like bones showing and
Oh,
shit.
God.
Yeah. But no, I know what you mean.
Is it Darth Necros?
Sure, why not?
So that sounds plausible.
Yeah.
That sounds like he'd be named something like that. But yeah, because like at least
he's a Sith zombie.
Yeah. Palpatine. He had a shit relationship with his parents. Didn't like him, but he was very intelligent and did have this massive thirst for knowledge. So he went off to university and all of that. He met Darth Plagueis when he was 19 years old. And the reason why Darth Plagueis and him met was because Darth Plagueis had sort of heard about this kid and he had kind of been helped through the Force or something to do some devious shit.
right.
And he was looking for this. I don't know the details of this story. I do apologize. I'm not describing it very, very well. But basically, Palpatine helped Plagueis in some way from afar. I don't know how that was. Plagueis was trying to find the person who helped him. Found him on Naboo.
Naboo, that's a new planet.
On Naboo when Palpatine was 19 years old.
Right.
So the same age Anakin was in Attack of the Clones. And just described him as a shadow in the Force. And I can just imagine Plagueis going like, "We found the guy!" That's going to like bring the Jedi to their knees and the
right.
Sith are going to take over.
A shadow in the Force. I mean, that's that implies that the Force willed Palpatine to just be like he's already up his own arse, and the Force is like, oh, you know what, this guy's up his own arse. You know what, I'm gonna turn into Sith Jesus.
Yeah. So when I was researching this to prepare for this, I did come across like something from the Plagueis novel where it kind of says he couldn't even sense any Force ability. He couldn't sense anything from him. That's what I mean. It was literally just a shadow in the Force. There was nothing.
A hole.
It was literally just a hole in reality. Nothing.
Yeah.
I did that like I had boobs. Nothing.
Well, there is nothing there. I suppose you're right. Yeah.
I don't know.
Where am I?
Keep supporting us. Maybe we can afford to get Nick some double Ds or something.
I don't want that.
We want that.
No, I don't want that. Yes, Plagueis had killed Tenebris at this point. So this was like a few years after. And basically, his father kind of knew about the relationship with Plagueis and the developing kind of friendship, if you can call it that.
Yeah.
And he'd found out that this guy has come from the banking clan. He could buy like the power and all of that, and he didn't approve of Sheev like talking to this guy, and basically brought his family, the brothers and sisters, the mother, to the university where Sheev was traveling because it was off-world. It wasn't It wasn't on Naboo, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. And basically, when he got there, he was like, "Sheev, we're taking you home. You're not studying. You're not having any particular political power. I've already planned a different life route for you. You're going to be doing this instead."
Right. Wait. I'm confused. So surely
I don't know the ins and outs of the story because I've actually not read the Plagueis novel, which I really want to, but I'm reading Lord of the Rings at the moment.
It seems odd to me that, a man of his father's rank would want him talking to the banking clan because, like, oh, fuck, more money.
Makes sense to me. I don't know how it will work. I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't know how it works. All I know is that due to something to do with Plagueis, his dad was like, "We're getting him out of there," and then.
Oh, so do you think his father actually had some force sensitivity?
No, he's mediocre at best.
Okay, fair enough.
He's just like, I don't like the friends you're hanging out with.
Pretty much.
But he must have had some kind of midichlorians, or I don't know.
How old was Plagueis by this point?
Plagueis is, I imagine, the same age that Palpatine was in the Phantom Menace or something like that.
Right. Okay. So probably like.
I don't know.
With Acolyte slight change to canon, he's going to be like 200 at this point. So.
What?
Well, because he looks like 80 in the Acolyte.
It doesn't look 80 in the Acolyte.
No. How old did you say he looked?
I don't know. He's a bloody alien. How the hell am I supposed to know?
How am I supposed to know?
But he doesn't. He looks reptilian. So it is vague. But he doesn't look like decrepit and old.
No. Yeah.
Old people don't tend to hang out in caves.
I don't know how many old people you know, but I know.
They're all over in the caves, chilling out, hanging.
Right. So. Palpatine was studying, and his father extracted him for further going into politics. I think this is less to say it didn't go well.
No.
Plagueis told Sheev to do what needs to be done to further his influence and power. Palpatine killed both his parents in a fit of rage in 65 BBY.
Wow, fantastic!
Good for him.
And as far as I'm aware, the siblings were there too and got the cut down.
They got the Anakin. They got Anakin sliced by Shiv.
Apparently, it was like a force crush. So it was like the R-rated shit you're talking about.
Yeah, it was like what Starkiller did to the stormtroopers, except in reverse. Where he brought.
I mean, that would be an interesting fan story in itself if his siblings did. Like, according to this, it's only his. Oh, what happened to the siblings?
I suppose that. Well, I mean. Because Rey is a Palpatine. Well, yeah, Rey is a Palpatine. So some sort of relation there.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be one of the siblings had a kid.
It could be, yeah. Obviously, we don't typically like to talk about the sequels, but they are unfortunately a factor, a law.
They are a law thing. But to be fair, I feel like they're slowly being made better by other stories leading into them. So
yeah, we're going to get onto that later.
Yeah.
With
but you guys, let us know what you think happened to the kids in the comments, because we'd love to hear what you guys think. Like, do you think they lived? Do you think that they're actually the ones related to Rey? Let us know what you think.
I mean, he must have covered it up. He must have done something to. I don't know how you excuse that. Be like, oh, my entire family's dead and they've been cut up into pieces. Who could have done this? How did this happen?
Easily. Like, if he's got force powers, he just sticks their remains in a shuttle and throws it down. Who's going to believe that they were exploded? You just say, oh, they died in a shuttle crash. Oh, so sad.
Yeah, but also his dad is like a high-ranking official.
Yeah, but they're not going to think the son's smart enough of this mediocre official to smart enough to plan his dad's...
Who's already a dick.
I don't know. I think it'd be a bit sus, honestly. If not that I have a big family, but if all my family died... I was fine, and it was under like weird circumstances, I would expect you to be like, all right, Joe, okay, whatever you say.
But then he could just say, would you like some money? How much money do you want?
That is true.
But he's the high, like, pay anyone off. It's a Star Wars galaxy. They all want money.
Only money.
Yes. Should we carry on?
Yes.
Yeah, go on.
So, between this time, Plagueis took him on as apprentice in case that wasn't clear.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, and is Plagueis's master still around at this point?
no,
No,
Darth
he's already
Nebulous
killed him already.
was killed.
Oh, okay. But did you say that?
Yeah, he
No,
said
I
that.
did say that.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Whoops, sorry. How did he die?
It's okay. I assume Plagueis killed him.
Okay, well, all right, yeah.
It
I
makes
was
sense.
Yeah, I was just wondering if it was like...
Because remember, that's when we were talking about Sith banter earlier.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. Oh, you got me. That's a good one.
sorry, guys.
banter!
Yeah. Plagueis and Palpatine were then devising this plan to take over the Jedi. It was mostly Palpatine's plan, but it was Plagueis's already influence and stature and wealth in the banking clan that basically aided Palpatine into the position he was.
Right.
So yeah, use wealth and influence for Palpatine to basically become a senator for Naboo. And that's basically, that brings us to the Phantom Menace. 'Cause that's all that really happened. They know what their plan is. Their plan is to take down the entire Jedi Order. They know their plan is to turn the Republic into a Galactic Empire, etc., etc. Yes, so
no, sorry, I just saw a bit of the script, which I thought is a very funny phrasing.
Okay.
yeah. I think I'll just see the bit you talk about. So Palpatine was using this time to gain influence, train in the dark side of the Force, and basically become the worst person that's ever existed. 40 BBY, Sheev found Maul, and the way Sheev did this is pretty much in the comic as how he went to Mother Talzin on Dathomir, and Mother Talzin basically presented Sheev with her son, which is Darth Maul. He was never given another name, I don't think. I think it was just Maul. He became Darth Maul. And Plagueis did know about Maul, but he was led to believe that Maul was effectively what Ventress was to Dooku, just an expendable assassin.
Right.
Yeah, an expendable assassin, and but Sheev put him through rigorous training. Maul was a Sith.
Right.
Maul was a Sith, and he had Sith training, and I think if Maul had been, because he's only a teenager in the Phantom Menace. He's only
Really?
he's 17, 18 years old.
Oh,
meant to
I
be.
thought he was I don't know, early 20s, mid 20s.
Well, he was 8 or 9 years old when Palpatine found him.
Right.
And then 8 years later, Phantom Menace.
Yeah, okay.
That's
So
really
he's
interesting.
really, really young, and he's just a powerhouse of muscle and anger that is basically like a slightly less powerful Starkiller.
So I'm guessing Mother Talzin did a spell on him like she did on the other guy, in Clone Wars.
I don't think so.
Well, no, to make him more hench.
He was 8.
That's what I'm saying.
A really
So
buff 8-year-old.
but I wouldn't put it past her. She's thick.
I mean, but so is it Savage? Is that
Savage
Yeah.
Press, yeah.
So, what a great name, Savage Press. He is noticeably bigger than Maul, though. He's noticeably more ripped.
Yeah, but I suppose his build when we first see him is sort of
No,
Maul.
it is
Yeah,
normal,
I suppose
Maul.
that
It's
makes
all right.
sense.
I can know which one of the bad. The answer's no.
You know what? He should have taken Darth Maul back to whatever planet it is. Dathomir, was it?
Are you going to try to...
He should have taken him back to Dathomir and then got
You
the
missed.
witch and been like.
Shut up.
Sorry, carry on, Joe.
He should have taken Darth Maul back to Dathomir, was it? That's the name of the planet?
Dathomir.
Dathomir. Gone to the witch and just be like, give my boy steroids. Make him ripped. Why wouldn't you?
Because he had dark side of the Force stuff, and he was just kind of making him more. He was making him a powerhouse. Just
Yeah, exactly. He's making
Already.
him a powerhouse. Inject him with steroids.
But I
Give
think-
him steroids.
But I think the spell that she puts on Savage makes him quite he's super strong, but he loses all his intelligence. He's literally
it's
just a
not
puppet.
intelligence. He's just he's still got
He
intelligence.
just loses
It's-
control.
He loses control. He's just he's just angry. You know how there are some people who the substance that triggers anger in the brain, they have more of it.
Yeah,
It's basically that.
I know, but he's sort of he's quite a nice guy. Like Savage is he's cares
At
about his
first,
brother,
yeah.
and then as soon as you put a spell on him, he's kill my brother. Like he just loses all his
He
loyalty.
becomes obedient.
Yeah.
He's just an angry puppet.
I'm just having all your food.
Yeah, that's fine. He's just like, I'm ripped now. I don't need to care what anyone thinks. Like,
Exactly.
if I was ripped, and I'd just be like, this is my podcast.
I mean, you are the one sat between the lightsabers already. You're looking pretty in
I
charge.
thought you were the one who's like the most mediocre, not mediocre, the most.
You heard that?
That's not what I meant. I meant in terms of like. That wasn't the right word. That was because we were talking about Palpatine and his parents. I'm near. No, what I mean is temperament.
Yeah, not mediocre.
Mellow.
Mellowed out.
I did not just call one of my best friends mediocre.
Yeah, mediocre at best.
I meant mellow.
He's become Shiv. He
Yeah.
thinks everyone is mediocre at best.
Yeah. I've got to be careful of my son then.
If you're wondering and you're listening to the podcast what
I don't
that
have a son.
donk done was, that was Nick slapping his head.
No, they'll see it. Don't worry, they'll see it.
Just zoom in on Nick going.
I'm really sorry. I didn't mean. I meant
No,
mellow.
that's fine. Yeah.
Continue the story and move on. Continue the story and move on.
Sorry, actually, before you continue, I do want to say, like, for Plagueis to see that someone's actively being trained, even though if they just think it's an assassin, a dispendable asset, surely Plagueis would have like eagle eyes on them and just be like, I'm watching you closely. Because, I mean, it's what Siths do. Like, if I see someone who I was training and they're training someone else, and then, I killed my master, and then, the chain continues. I'd just be like, I already know what you're doing. Like, I can see what you're doing. Stop it. Yeah.
But I think, it's funny because Palpatine does the same thing to Dooku with Ventress's story.
Palpatine is like, I know what you're doing with Ventress in the Clone Wars. Like, you're trying to overthrow me with Ventress. That's not going to work for my plan because I'm about to fucking get rid of you anyway.
Yeah.
You're about to go.
Yeah. Anyway, where are we?
Right.
Yes, so she found more Plagueis was led to believe he was a expendable assassin. Yes. Yes. Anyway, so 32 BBY, Phantom Menace. Yeah, that's the one. So Plagueis actually not meets Anakin, but sees Anakin because when they arrive on Coruscant and Qui-Gon kneels down, talks to Anakin about the midichlorians and all of that. That's just like Plagueis is watching them from another platform at that point.
Oh,
so
wow,
he sees Anakin.
That's kind of crazy to me to think that Plagueis is around during the Phantom Menace, because like when he's mentioned in the third film, it makes
You imagine it being much...
Yeah, like almost like ancient, like a long time ago. But it's literally just like, it's 10 years maybe.
Yeah, 13, 10 years.
Yeah.
I know, but if he's up his own arse. We know that from a child. Like, of course, he's going to make himself sound better than he is. Have you ever heard the tale of Darth Plagueis the Wise? I killed him last week, but it doesn't matter. He was very wise.
I'll tell you what, that was a very Seth MacFarlane kind of Palpatine.
But it is crazy to think that they both existed at the same time.
Stormtrooper.
Anakin and Plagueis, they
could
saw
have
each
met.
other. They interacted, basically.
Well, Plagueis heard from just having his influence of, I imagine, from Naboo and all of that with Palpatine, and hearing about this child, this virgins in the Force, that Qui-Gon had found this guy, this kid. I think he wanted to see that for himself.
Right.
Basically.
Do you think, and this is going to sound...
Right. Hang on a minute. Sorry. I do have another question. Like, why... No, never mind. You're not fine. So Plagueis and Palpatine both, did this intentionally. Why were they bringing another Force? Was it for another dispensable asset? Like, why did they bring Anakin to life?
Why did they create a vergence in the Force?
Yeah.
They're experimenting with Sith alchemy, I imagine.
So they didn't do it intentionally?
It was
I think they were trying to. They were trying to create something through the Force, but I don't know if they really understood what they were doing at the time.
Right.
I honestly don't know. Sorry. We're idiots.
We
I'm
are
mediocre at best.
Yeah, we are mediocre at best.
Um,
Well, this comes to what I was going to say before I was rudely interrupted by Nick. What I was saying was, do you think Force? Obviously, we know that Palpatine and Plagueis were up to Sith alchemy, but do you think verges in the Force happen because there's people like Palpatine? Because you said Palpatine himself is a shadow of the Force.
Yeah.
Do you think there's like the rule of two actually applies to the Force itself? There's always a good and a bad.
yeah.
And do you think that's possible because Palpatine was the one messing with the alchemy? That's why we got Anakin while the Chosen One was born? Or
I don't know.
let us know in the comments. What you think.
Yeah, comment down below. Yeah.
Why are you staring blankly? Like, I thought it was interesting. Talk about it.
It was interesting, yeah. I don't know the answer. I think it's both Plagueis and Palpatine messing around with the alchemy. I don't think it's just Palpatine.
Right.
I think it's mainly
Yeah.
Plagueis, if anything, because Palpatine doesn't know the secret to everlasting life and all of that.
No.
He doesn't know it. Plagueis is the one who kind of worked it out, being able to save others from death.
Do we ever meet anyone that Plagueis has saved, like within the comics or anything?
I haven't got a clue. I wish I could just
Let us
say
know down
yeah.
in the comments.
I mean, I'd be really, really interesting to find out, like, you know, because why is he saving people from death? Like, was he generally a nice Sith? Like, it just seems odd to me that, you know, why was he tinkering? I know he's
Probably
trying
for
to save
himself.
No, he's trying to save
Probably
himself.
for himself, yeah. I don't know. But anyway, Sheev kills Plagueis between the scenes on Coruscant and the final scenes of the film on Naboo. So he gets Plagueis really drunk because it's like, we've won. Let's celebrate.
Yeah.
When Plagueis was like really, really drunk, just because he's so powerful, he can create life with the midichlorians.
Yeah.
He doesn't see anything as a threat anymore. Palpatine just unleashes Force lightning on him and just kills him. And while he's unleashing Force lightning, I think one of the quote was, "It was I, Palpatine, who devised this plan it's my success that we're celebrating here. It's my right to have this on my own. It's my right to now become the Sith."
So, it's interesting. I saw a Star Wars theory video on this a while ago, and it was, I don't know if this was a Legends thing and that it's not canon anymore, but I always thought the reason he's able to get the upper hand is that Plagueis, gets, because he's quite high up in, the sort of Galactic Republic, or, and he gets shot up by someone, and that's why he's so weak, and that's how Palpatine gets the upper hand. I didn't realize it was drunk. Could be something that was in an early comic that's now no longer canon.
I'm pretty sure it was in the Plagueis novel.
Right. Okay.
Of Plagueis' death.
Right. Okay. Just interesting. Let us know in the comments.
I feel like there's a quicker way than Force lightning. Use the lightsaber.
Yeah, but not as satisfying though, is it? If you're like, I really hate you and I want you to die and I want you to like fucking know about it.
Yeah, but as in, I feel like it's an unnecessary risk.
Yeah.
If I could just shoot you, then that's gonna make things a lot quicker than me boiling you alive. Like,
very true. I mean, I've got no comment on that. I think it's just a Sith thing.
yeah, he's just flexing.
He's just flexing. It's lightning. Anyway, Palpatine is elected as Chancellor, as we all know, and the grooming of Anakin had begun.
That was the line I was laughing at earlier.
Yes, so Palpatine was basically just going to be a friend to the boy and kind of, manipulate him from the beginning. That's the whole point. He knows Anakin is going to be... Because he was really upset when Maul died. Maul was the next Sith, according to him. But then when Obi-Wan killed him, he was distraught because he had put so much work into this boy.
Yeah.
To make him this absolute monster of an opponent for the Jedi. And which he was. He was. The only reason he won against Obi-Wan in the Phantom Menace was because Obi-Wan basically tricked him.
Right.
Surprised Maul. Which, to be fair, does show a lot, but at the same time, yeah. So much of the 10 years between grooming of Anakin between Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones is grooming of Anakin, setting up the clone army, making sure Dooku's on that shit, and all of that. And then in 22 BBY, Attack of the Clones, and all I've got here is he's being a devious boy.
What's
Just before we move on to Attack of the Clones, like Dooku, as we know from Tales of the Jedi, was it Tales of the Empire, Tales of the Sith?
Tales of the Jedi.
Tales of the Jedi. He has, before Phantom Menace, was already in talks with Palpatine. So had Palpatine, was he talking to Palpatine and Plagueis then?
Was he even aware of Plagueis? Maybe
he must have been because you've gone too far. Qui-Gon was never meant to die or something like that, and he was like, you lost an apprentice, and I lost an apprentice because Maul was not supposed to die either. Yes, so I believe Dooku was talking to Palpatine, not necessarily as his apprentice, but as
just associate, as a rat, a mole, basically.
Yeah,
that makes more sense.
An agent of the Sith rather than
Sith,
exactly. Yes, so Attack of the Clones, he's just being devious as fuck.
Right.
He's a devious bastard.
Exactly. He's the Chancellor now. He has power. All of the power that he could ever want or need.
Yeah.
Oh, you left out the part in Phantom Menace where he like tricks Padme into calling a vote no confidence.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's him being a devious boy.
Yeah, he's just
pulling that shit. That's all he's doing as Chancellor.
He's a nice guy. You don't want a nice guy in charge. Get rid of that nice guy. You want a devious bastard in charge instead.
Bastard.
Devious bastard.
Yeah. We all know what happens during that time. There's not really much to talk about. He manipulates Anakin into like betraying the Jedi and taking him on as a Sith apprentice, basically. So we all know what happens there.
Just before we continue, there's an interesting theory here. What would have happened if Anakin hadn't left the Force? You know how they end up in that with the Force realm of the gods, where the Chosen One is supposed to control the siblings.
Mm-hmm.
How fucked up would his plan have got? It's like, what do you mean Anakin's gone? What do you mean he's the Chosen One? No, he's not. He's supposed to join my. What do you mean?
But does he just literally teleport, like dematerialize?
Yeah, they in Clone Wars they get taken to effectively the planet of the gods. It's like, in a slightly different realm,
right?
And the father is
dimensions and all that
different dimension. The father is dying because, and the father's like. The Chosen One is supposed to take over from the father. That's the role of the Chosen One. And obviously the siblings are,
out of balance
because one's the light side, one's the dark side, and they're fighting each other.
Yeah.
And the fathers get losing control. So Anakin is supposed to take over. And he does at first. He's like, and then it's like, right, you need to stay here and look after the kids. He's like, fuck that, I've got a wife. I'm going to go back to my wife. And then things happen. You guys have seen the Clone Wars. Essentially, the son gains more power by killing the sister, and the Force goes out of whack. And then Obi-Wan sees Darth Vader because Anakin is shown what he will become as Darth Vader, and it's all. But if Anakin had just said, "Oh, you know what, I'm going to do my job," and stayed, and not like all the bullshit, and just been like, "No, stay down," what would that would have would Palpatine have succeeded in that situation? Because I suspect Palpatine was actually part of the son's plot. Like somehow because obviously he's linked to the dark side. So Palpatine's strength is linked. I mean, even the father says so. The universe there's going to be repercussions from the fact that you've chosen to leave and you've forsaken your duties. The Chosen One.
Right.
What if? Oh, let us know what you guys think would have happened if he stayed as Chosen One.
I mean, it's kind of funny because that is literally a segment that we're going to do in just a bit of a hypothetical scenario.
Next time.
So this is where I think it gets a little bit interesting with Palpatine, because he's now got the power he's wanted. He's the Emperor of the galaxy, and it's what he does in his time as ruler. Which isn't necessarily even ruling that much. You see him in the Bad Batch. He's rarely in the Senate chambers.
Yeah.
He's more doing stuff like prolonging his life, like Necromancer Project in the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Which I found really interesting, because he doesn't just return in the sequels. He returns in Legends as well.
Yeah.
In Legends, he uses essence transfer, which is a force power that basically he learns to be able to transfer his essence into another body.
Yeah.
I think we've said this many times, but Palpatine's return in the movies could have been done. But the stupid thing was saying the line, he's returned somehow, by writing something like that into your
Yeah,
plot.
but so does I was gonna say Breaking Bad? Does Bad Batch straight up answer that?
Yeah, it talks about
Yes, it
Necromancer.
talks about Necromancer Project and
He's trying to clone himself.
being able to clone someone and keep the midichlorian count
Right,
the same, if not higher.
Is the explanation just like a hint to that's what he did, or does it directly say this is exactly how he did
it's
it?
all suggested.
It's all suggested.
It's all
Okay.
suggested, but it's pretty obvious. It's
Right.
made. If you know Star Wars, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
And if you don't know Star Wars, it's like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
Necromancer Project. What does that mean?
But to be fair, like by the end of the show, even if you don't know Star Wars, you're still sort of like, oh, he's trying to bring himself back from the dead if he dies, sort of thing. Like if you're the people with power, the one thing they fear is losing the power. Stop burping into the mic, Nick. God, right. I missed again. Yeah!
That was an assist.
I'll take it, Joe. High five.
High five.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Yes, so that's most of what he's doing. He's just got projects going on. He's basically trying to, now that he's got power of the galaxy, he's trying to make it more powerful in the Force with Sith alchemy, trying to find the world between worlds, which we see in Rebels.
Yeah.
So we see that he is up to some devious shit.
Mm.
But that's pretty much it. He dies. He believes Luke can replace Vader, and in doing so, he dies.
Yeah.
But then he somehow returns. So
I mean, why does he want to replace Vader?
because Vader's
Vader's
not
old.
Because he's a
Vader's
nugget.
old and he's a nugget. A nugget, because that could have sounded very wrong, and someone could have misheard it.
Oh my god.
I mean, what was he trying to do with time travel? Him control what could he do if he controlled time?
I mean, could you imagine what he could do if he controlled?
That
like,
really is ultimate power. That is
Yeah,
like
that is
I know, but the world between worlds. I mean, what he could go into other times and grab people out. But other than that, I mean, I suppose he could change He could go back in time and change some outcomes in early Sith conflicts. But eventually, I feel like he'd go back in time, and the Sith Lords of the old times would be like, "Oh, we don't like you, kill him." So I feel like it would have backfired his temporal shenanigans. So it would have created a Star Wars Lego type universe, where we've got everything's messed up. That's what his meddling with time would have done.
Yeah, I think that would have. Yeah, I think it'd have been interesting, but I also think, oh well, Palpatine's won.
yeah, literally.
He's
by
not
that point.
taken over the galaxy; he's taken over the fucking Force.
Yeah.
That's that. But that's our main event, going through the life of Palpatine. We didn't mention the sequels because no.
I mean, he's pretty much just cloning himself all the way up until we see him again. And then he's like, I would like you to kill me so I can transfer myself into your body.
The only thing kind of worth mentioning is, what we already mentioned, the fact that Rey is a Palpatine, and it'd be interesting if they went into that, because I don't think there's anything about that, at least.
I think the creation of Rey's parents would be a good porno film.
Oh, God. I was not expecting...
Just Palpatine. Just Palpatine having a good time, boy.
Just like, oh, yes.
That's not... No one wants to see that.
Palpatine sexy hotline.
No one wants to see...
Right. No one wants to see that.
Oh. No one wants to see Ian McDermott laying it down.
Oh,
Disagree.
Oh.
We'll get it back on in a second.
But yeah,
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back after these various messages.
Join our Discord. Actually, no, I will mention that. Basically, we've been doing some live streams where we've been doing role plays, and basically we've come up with characters for each other.
Yeah.
And so in our Discord, we've made a text
channel.
Text channel. Where we want you to join our Discord and give us characters to roleplay. It can be anything. It can be weird, wacky, bizarre, cancelable.
Maybe basically we're going to play these characters in like a video game battlefield situation.
Yeah. So, for example, during our last stream, I was a god and you were my servant.
Minion, yeah. Gerald.
And for somehow, I literally took it to a point where my character didn't die until I got
at least the very end.
yeah, I got to a 33 kill streak on this character, and you're like, Master, you're still alive. I was like, yes, I am a god. What do you think?
But yeah, so join our Discord. Make it a place to hang out, because at the moment no one hangs out there, and it's
We're all lonely.
Including us.
Yeah. If you're there, we want to come to you. So
We want to talk and annoy you.
Yeah, and also I do think at some point maybe we'll organise some sort of like online hangout with people if everyone's got Battlefront 2 and
Just
second Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely
That'd be
going to
very
have to
cool.
play some Star Wars Squadrons as well.
Yeah, for sure.
'Cause
Oh, X-Wing.
Yeah, there will be
Is there
more.
oh no, there's
games.
Jedi Starfighter, isn't it? It'll be sick to have like a dogfight, a space mission
Yeah.
with just
Tell you what, the Battlefront 2, we were enjoying the Battlefront 2 space, and the new one. It's sick. It's really, really fun. Though working out with the objectives of what we were supposed to do was mostly
Yeah.
the problem in that.
yeah.
Right, we're moving on to our next segment, which is fan theory. So each of us has come up with a fan theory, and it's more like
not
it's
necessarily
more
It's a
a
discussion.
theory.
It's like
Yeah.
It's a question and more discussion.
It's a
of
what
how
if.
that
So
It's
happens.
a
what if
parallel
scenario?
universe.
So I'll go first. So my what if for you is, what if Yoda never went into exile? So at the end of Revenge of the Sith, obviously, he sort of forces him into his starting position for when we see him in Empire. What if he didn't? He just like reorganized the Jedi Order. What do you think would have happened?
I don't think he would have reorganized Jedi Order. I think he'd known that would be a loss because the Emperor would just turn up with troops and troops and troops of stormtroopers. I think it will be a very similar story to Ahsoka.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a very, very similar story. I don't think he'd have any hand in the training of Luke, but I do think he would cause a lot of problems for Palpatine.
Because obviously he is like the Empire's most wanted. It would be. Do you think we'd get like a Jedi Survivor type story where he's like, we just got playing as Yoda through the story of Jedi Survivor?
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be quite interesting. What do you think, Joe, if Yoda didn't go next time?
That it would be a very interesting story. Like, I mean, I don't know. He would be kind of, I don't know what he'd do, honestly, but yeah, he would cause a lot of problems for Palpatine. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the Rebel Alliance would be a lot stronger, probably.
Yeah.
Like,
having someone as wise and as also calm as Yoda on their side
yeah.
would be a massive asset. They do get that in Ahsoka,
Yeah.
but Yoda is that step up, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, how many Jedis do the Rebels have, either one directly working with them or two just
Canon
kind of
or Legends or both?
associated? Canon.
So you got Ahsoka, you got Ezra and Kanan. I believe Quinlan Voss was also doing it. It was confirmed in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show that Quinlan Voss. So that's who I was going to talk about earlier.
Oh, okay.
It was
Quinlan.
You were saying about Jedi something, or like Quinlan doing something, because Quinlan, like, the R-rated thing. So whatever Quinlan Voss is doing. Sorry, I'm taking this way back to earlier
go
now.
for it.
But Quinlan Voss is like a very interesting character. I don't know if you've read Dark Disciple,
Is that?
the Assad Adventurous
Yeah, is that
novel.
where the two of them end up together and he's like going sort of
Yeah,
dodgy?
he is a very dodgy Jedi.
Yeah.
Right.
He's I want to. You know how Hunter is effectively the Rambo of the
He's the Rambo of
clone
the Jedi,
army.
yeah.
Quinlan Voss is the Rambo of the Jedi. He's just he's funny. He's charismatic. He's also dark.
Yeah.
Like, he gets the job done, and he's very funny. But I think that would be a really good thing to see an R-rated Quinlan Voss film with him fucking up.
I mean, we know
stormtroopers.
Disney does R-rated stuff, and
mean, Deadpool 3 was
if
pretty
anything, at least that's been made recently. The R-rated stuff has been reviewed a lot better than anything else, really.
I feel like it's the fact they're trying to hold back for kids to make the films kid-friendly. Though that being said, when we come to Skeleton Crew a little bit later, I do have a point on this one, actually. So I'm going to leave that.
So if Yoda went into exile, what do we think? Do we think it would have a similar outcome with the
I think we would have, you know, in all the video games, how we have those groups of Jedi that like, especially when we were playing Battlefront 2. Yeah. Like, you come across groups. I feel like that there would have been situations like that where they like strike missions and Yoda's leading squads of Jedi with true. But I don't think I think he would survive, and I think we would have had a slightly different ending. But I think the story would have still been the same. I just feel like maybe Yoda would have met Luke differently. Like, you know, it would have been.
Obi-Wan would have told him to find Yoda in a different way, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll not go to Dagobah, go to this rebel cell.
Maybe as soon as he brought Leia back, like, Yoda's just there like, let me talk to you about your father. And that's how he finds out about Vader. And it's like, ooh, that would have been interesting. What do you guys think of what do you guys think of that? What do you think would happen if Yoda didn't go into exile? Let us know in the comments. I don't
think Yoda would have told Leia about their father, because remember, Vader's the one who told Luke, and Yoda didn't want to confirm it. He was dodging the question in Return of the Jedi just before he died. So I don't think they'd tell him. I think they'd be like, you got to kill him.
There is another.
I do wonder why Obi-Wan and Yoda just don't go and kill them themselves. I know they tried in Return. I know they tried in Revenge of the Sith, but surely if they team up.
I mean, I feel like Obi-Wan beat Vader twice. Once out of the suit, once in the suit. You know,
twice in the suit.
Twice in the suit.
Well, technically, he didn't lose. He didn't win the one in New Hope. That's what I feel like that's a win.
That's him. Just like he doesn't die. Like, he just becomes one with the Force at that point. He's not dead. And even Vader's like, what the fuck? I killed you. What the fuck are you?
Yeah. Right. Should we move on to the next one?
Yeah, give us your one.
So, I don't know how this would happen. I want to discuss this because I just would love the idea of Darth Vader in the full Darth Vader suit, not just Anakin Darth Vader, but Darth Vader in the full suit with the red lightsaber, like an army of stormtroopers walking into the Jedi Temple. I think that would be so good. So my question is, how does that happen? Because obviously in canon, in the actual story, Anakin goes into the temple as just him.
So when you mentioned this earlier, you were thinking about this. I brought me back to, I saw a really good bit of fan art, which was Anakin, unburned in the Vader suit. And I was thinking, I feel like it in some situations will go sort of like this, like, rise, Lord Vader. Now I've been saving something for you. Palpatine like goes into the other room and brings out this suit of armor and they just fully armor him up. And I feel like that's the simplest question. Like I feel
he would still have a blue lightsaber though.
But if Vader's suit, I know that's coming with the Kyber, but I feel like if Vader's suit didn't have any of the life support in it, apart from maybe allowing him to breathe in space, like it's more like Stormtrooper clone armor type thing. I feel like he would have been much more effective. Suddenly the armor is just battle armor. He's now Anakin, and obviously the saber.
He's now Darth Vader.
He's now Darth Vader, and that's the simplest answer to that situation. But then the lightsaber, as you said,
I think because I would like for Anakin versus Obi-Wan still to happen in this context. I think I would still want Obi-Wan to basically chop him up, nuggify him, and then, but I would want Anakin to go straight to Mustafar and just have the stormtroopers try to attack the Jedi Temple. And I think without Anakin, it would have failed. And I think that's a key thing. I think it would be cool to see the Jedi win against the troops. I know that is quite unlikely because the sheer amount of clones there were and the actual effectiveness of the clones.
Yeah.
I think hang on. I think I can see the Jedi sort of regrouping, trying to take over the Senate in the most peaceful way possible, trying to convince everyone that no, Palpatine is a Sith Lord, but Palpatine then, this is the attempt of my life, look at me, look what you've done to me, and doing all of that side of things, but they still being in the Jedi Temple because there's a whole fluctuation of what's going on. If they leave the Jedi Temple, they look guilty. If they stay, they have to defend it, and it's that kind of thing. They have to kind of show they're not guilty and make a stand for themselves, and then after maybe 6 months of this, because Darth Vader would have had to get used to the suit. Darth Vader would have had to get used to the suit. Obi-Wan, I don't know if he would be in the temple. I think he would be looking after Luke. Maybe same with Yoda, or maybe Yoda wouldn't have gone into exile in this.
Maybe that's the situation.
So that's the situation here. So Yoda's now, but Yoda knows. Yoda, according to everyone, Obi-Wan is dead. Yoda's the only one who knows he's still alive. That's what I would put that, because Yoda's got to take care. Obi-Wan's got to take care of Luke, basically. According to Darth, because like Padme's dead at this point. Padme's dead. The 2 kids are dead too. They're actually on Alderaan and Tatooine. I think I would just love to see Darth Vader enter it, and I think in that situation that would work. I think there might be problems with that theory, but I think that would work, having in that particular scenario Darth Vader leading the troops, and that is when the Jedi would fall.
I feel like the only way that would work is if Mace Windu, we'd have to bring Mace Windu back into the story earlier. Like Mace Windu goes to Obi-Wan and tells him what Anakin did.
Mace Windu's dead in this scenario. We don't know if he's alive.
No. The reason I'm saying that, to get your theory, because you want him to go to Mustafar first. Why does Obi-Wan want to follow Anakin to Mustafar? Like the reason he goes after Anakin to begin with is because he kills the family.
Maybe there would be footage leaked from the Senate office. I know technically the cameras are conveniently shut off, but say, for example, if Mace Windu had left his comlink on or his hologram on or something, and then that would be a way that they could have seen it.
But I feel like Obi-Wan doesn't like Mace Windu either, and he'd be like, yeah, you know what,
but Yoda does. Not Yoda, well, not really, but Yoda respects him.
Yeah, respect and liking someone is something completely different. And I feel like Anakin...
Obi-Wan's got respect for Windu.
Yeah. But I feel like in that situation, like listening on the comm link, be like... listening to how Palpatine's tempting him, like he's not even tempting him with power. He's saying, "I will save the one you love." I don't think. Maybe Yoda being psychopathic, but Obi-Wan said, with his Mandalorian wife, that I would have left the Jedi Order if you asked. So, like, I don't.
Yeah, but you can also hear Mace Windu screaming in the background, "Don't listen to him, Anakin!"
Listen to him, Anakin.
It's quite obvious that Palpatine is trying to manipulate him. I have the power to save the one you love, and all of that. So I think it'd be quite obvious that. I think like I think Windu would have given them that instead, and it would be a recording. It wouldn't be a message. Yeah. Like it wouldn't be a call. It would be a recording that somehow Obi-Wan and Yoda would stumble across.
Yeah. If it does come out that Windu, like we get a Windu show, and it turns out he did survive that situation, my thing would be Windu goes straight to them instead of running off. That would have been my change in the story. If Windu is confirmed to be dead. And he's not actually going to come back at some point, but
he's got to.
He's coming. Yeah, so like,
I think we've got to do it while he's still able, because he's in his 70s now.
Yeah. Oh my god! Wow,
yeah.
Jesus.
So yeah. Honestly, I think that in my version of the story, Windu just goes straight to them and says, "Go kill Anakin, go," and he just orders Obi-Wan like, "Go." Like,
that's fair enough.
So I think that works, and then you'll get your outcome.
What, stumbles into the Jedi Temple?
Stumbles into the Jedi Temple.
Because Order 66 happens. The clones turn on Obi-Wan, the clones turn on Yoda, and all of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that's a good point.
But yes, it's an interesting theory. What do you guys think? Do you think that... How would you get it that Vader is in the suit in the temple? How do we get to that situation? But yeah, let us know. Right, Joe, you have a theory too.
Yeah, so just something to think about. If Luke... succeeded in blowing up the Death Star. However, like for whatever reason, Han Solo is not there, so he doesn't knock
Darth Vader out of the way.
Yeah.
So you're saying Luke still blows up the Death Star?
Luke succeeds, but then immediately Vader kills him. Just what happens now? What do we think happens now? Obviously, at the end of Return of the Jedi. Yoda is just like, there is another. Which is obviously referring to Leia. And obviously in the sequels, then Leia does show to have at least a small level of Force ability.
So unless you're finished, I have an answer for this. So there was a comic that dealt with something very, very similar to this, but the only difference is Luke died on Hoth when Han went to find him.
Right. Okay.
So Luke is in an icy grave on Hoth.
Lovely.
And
Was it from the Wampa?
yeah, from the Wampa. Not eaten by the Wampa, but he escaped the Wampa, went out into the
and then
Just
yeah.
dies in the
and
cold.
just dies in the cold.
Right.
Yeah. And this obviously it's a what if.
Yeah.
Basically, it starts off with like Yoda training Leia, and he sends Leia off to the cave, and then I don't know the ins and outs of this, but Vader finds Yoda on Dagobah
Right.
while Leia's in the cave,
Oh, okay.
and
What if Darth Vader walked into the cave? Leia just thought it was training, cut the head off Darth Vader, and it's just like, no, that's real Darth Vader. You just killed him.
That's funny. No, basically Yoda just takes Vader down a path of memory lane in that comic.
Right.
I feel like that would be a pretty good way of summing it up, to be fair. If you can include some images of that program, but what we're talking about,
I'll look for it. Yeah.
that'll be pretty good.
I mean,
But yeah, even because basically Darth Vader's like tired of these force visions that Yoda is throwing at him, because he throws like force projections of like a force ghost of Ben Kenobi, a force ghost of Qui-Gon, a force ghost of Mace Windu, and they're all fucking up Vader.
Right.
They're all fucking him up. But then Vader's tired of all these projections, and then I think chops off Yoda's arm or something like that.
Oh no!
And then,
Yoda
yeah.
becomes semi-Nugget
And then
Yoda,
and
no!
Leia walks in on that, and
Right.
Leia's like, and basically fucks up Vader.
Right.
Right, there you go.
Okay.
I mean that.
Well,
It
I mean,
works.
yeah,
That's
because
pretty
it
much
doesn't.
answers the question.
Like it doesn't. Because really, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it changes that much. I mean, I don't know if Leia.
That's not our theory. That's actually that's a comic
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I've read in the
Comic, yeah.
2000s.
I don't know if Leia could have taken on Vader. And
I
Palpatine
disagree with
because-
that as well. Yeah, I don't think Leia would have won that.
Yeah, just because I mean Luke, but he didn't win, and you know he only had so much training. Leia would have even less training than that.
I don't know, actually. I think there's a counter to that. I feel like as she was, royal, I feel like she would have had combat training. So I feel like in some ways Leia was more trained than
Maybe.
Luke. Just in like basic training, not in force ability,
Yeah.
but in at least in battle. Because we know,
In balance.
in
yeah.
balance and in fighting. Like, we know that she's trained in fighting,
Right.
whereas Luke is like I want to go to the academy.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's
Whereas,
just a hillbilly.
Yeah.
Why is he SpongeBob? No, don't do it. Don't do it. I can see you wanting to go, Gary!
but in all seriousness, like she already at the point of A New Hope is like well experienced, and we've seen her in Rebels. Like she works with Rebel Lines for a long time.
Yeah.
So like she's well experienced with battle, whereas Luke
Yeah,
is.
that's very true.
So
Actually,
arguably, and if Luke, by the time we see him in Return of the Jedi, in a couple of years of force training, is able to do that, and he had no battle training when we see him in New Hope.
Yeah, now that you phrased it like that, if anything, Leia was the better choice.
Yeah,
They
Leia
should have
was the
gone
better
absolutely-
choice.
Well, I'm pretty sure that Yoda or Obi-Wan, one of them wanted to train Leia over Luke. But I can't remember who said Luke could be the better choice.
Right.
I think it's because
Because he's a
because of
man.
Leia, maybe at the time, but because of Leia's position with the Organas
Yeah.
and being a princess of Alderaan, it would have been easier for her to be the diplomatic solution and to train Luke to effectively be the weapon.
Yeah.
I think it was just easier for them to do that, and I think that was the reason why they went with Luke.
Okay.
I feel like I could have just trained both of them, but there you go.
Yeah, I agree.
Like isn't two Jedi better than one? At the end of the day, like imagine Return of the Jedi with Luke and Leia with two lightsabers, like going up against Vader, and then the both of them are like, "No, we're not going to kill our father," and they just turn to Palpatine. It's like, "Oh shit." Right. So the next thing is Skeleton Crew review. Now, first things first, I want to get off the table. I loved this show.
I liked it. I didn't love it. It wasn't one of my favorites. It wasn't like I really, really enjoyed The Mandalorian. I like for me, The Bad Batch has been the best TV show by far.
But I'm gonna explain why it's my it's not my favorite Star Wars, but I loved this show. And here's my reasoning. This show felt so original to me.
It did, yeah.
And
I will take you that. It's original in the Star Wars
what I mean by
universe.
that, like, if they had, if it wasn't Star Wars and it was just called Skeleton Crew, and then suddenly they're surprised with us, like, surprise, it's in Star Wars, but they didn't actually tell us that. I think in some ways I would have found that, like,
That would be cool. Yeah.
because the story was really quite. I loved The Goonies. I love shows like Explorers where the kids, go off and do something, and it's like ridiculous what they're doing, but somehow and it's basically just Treasure Planet. Have you seen Treasure Planet?
It's been a long time,
yeah.
but yeah.
It is basically a live action Treasure Planet. This,
Right.
It's incredible.
This film. This series. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's really, really kiddie and stuff like that, but I'm just like, the only reason you're saying that is because it's Star Wars. If this wasn't Star Wars, you wouldn't have any complaints about this. Like,
No.
if he just said, "Oh, I want to be a knight, and I want to have a laser sword," like, and suddenly you just tweak a couple of words in it, take out the Star Wars references, suddenly it's its own thing, and it stands as over. And now I want to put something else to you guys. The Ewok films did really badly. Imagine putting Skeleton Crew where the Ewok films were.
Yeah.
Suddenly you have this, because obviously George Lucas wanted to make more kid stuff. What if Skeleton Crew was...
I think it would have done amazing.
I think
it would be one of the iconic things.
Yeah, I don't think any of these people would be complaining, because all the people complaining about it would have been kids themselves and would be like, I want to be in this. And I've had loads of my students come up to me like talking about how much they love Skeleton Crew.
It did feel very like 80s kind of group of kids running around.
Exactly.
Which is good.
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was great. It definitely wasn't some of my favourite Star Wars, but it was a good show.
Looking at the trailer, because I haven't seen the series, I've only seen the trailer. It did have that like 80s like Stranger Things type like vibe to it. But also one thing, there's nothing wrong with it specifically, but it was like a weird thought, is just like the fact that in the trailer it shows like Star Wars suburbs. It's really bizarre. Like, it's like it shouldn't exist.
That is the huge plot. That is the plot of the show.
Right.
It's why the hell are there Star Wars suburbs? And that's what really irks me about people's reactions, like, Star Wars, that's not Star Wars. And can we give you a spoiler? I don't know.
I'm not bothered with a spoiler, but
okay. Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. Spoiler. Woo woo. The reason for that is because the planet they're on is Treasure Planet. It's rather than going to find Treasure Planet, their home is Treasure Planet.
Right, okay.
Because what their home is it's one of the last Republic mints. It's where they make the money.
Oh, I see.
And that's why the Star Wars universe is so freaking poor, because the money has not been made. It's been cut off. And
I see. Okay.
And that's the reason. And they sort of end up on the ship, go out in the galaxy, and they're like, "We're from Ad-Aden." They're like, "What do you mean Ad-Aden? That's a fairy tale." And so they live on El Dorado.
Oh, I see. So no one knows
where it
exist.
is. They think it was destroyed, because all the other planets where the mints were destroyed and stuff like that. But their planet's the last one left, and so that like
they've been made their entire planet's like
purpose
and economy is to build and make money.
But so what have they been doing for
not
the
like
last
make
couple
money
of years?
as
just making money. Like this
not as in earning money. I mean literally making
the
gold.
money.
Yeah.
So it's hilarious at the beginning. Like this guy's on his phone, like to his work. It's like, "I gotta get to work. Here's your lunch money." Pile of gold on on the thing, and it's like, and these kids throughout the film are like, "Is this enough money?" And all these people looking at this like, "This is pure gold." what the actual like, and they're sort of looking at it. And from the trailer, you think that there's a Jedi that survived Order 66. I remember a lot of the complaints like, another Order 66 survivor.
Yeah.
But he wasn't Order 66. He wasn't. He was like Ezra. He was trained by a 66 survivor who was hunted down and killed. And he's just like he's just a Force pirate.
Effectively, He didn't really learn that much from his Jedi master.
Just the very basics or something.
He learned the very basics, and he can pass off as a Jedi. Basically. It is very cool when he gets the lightsaber.
Oh, when he gets the lightsaber,
because he never had one of his own.
No, and because it's in they have to try and find their way back to Ad-Aden.
Yeah,
and the whole setup is that they find the ship, and it's actually a pirate ship. It's like the Jolly Roger. It's the Blackbeard's Black Pearl type ship.
Okay.
And they've accidentally found this legendary pirate ship, and everyone thinks it's a hunk of junk.
Yeah.
And then they meet this robot, and the robot's like,
Droid.
Droid.
Yeah.
Droid, yeah. And he takes
who's played by Nick Frost.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
he's really cool. I love, and there are some who call me SM33. And SM33 takes them.
Can't say I remember
And they end up on. They sort of go on like because it's a series. They go through various planets to try and find their way back home.
Yeah.
And then, as it turns out, the ship that the legendary pirate ship is actually called the what's it called? It was the Cinder, something Cinder.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And there was like, well, how come? Because their planet's surrounded by like a force field that protects them from ships getting through. It turns out this ship ended up on the planet because it is actually an Aten ship.
Right.
And so halfway through the series, the ship's about to be destroyed and it's getting dragged off, and it's that they sort of tease this button in the first episode of don't push this button, it will blast the hull off. And it's like, we got no choice. They hit the button and it reveals this beautiful shiny silver ship underneath. I really like the original design, the sort of bulky armored ship, but underneath it's this beautiful silver Naboo starfighter type ship underneath, and it's just really, really cool. And I loved it.
No, it was good. So,
I just want to say, like, because by the sounds of it, when you were going to say the plot to me or the spoiler, I thought you were going to say the real treasure was the friends we made along the way. And I was going to be like, oh my God, no.
I mean, to be fair, by
part
the end
of it is that. There is
There
part
is
of the
that.
plot with the two friends and the woman and the girl who went through the accident, who has like cybernetic parts and all of that.
That was really cool
It
as well.
was really cool, yeah.
Like, I thought there was so much in this, and it just annoys me now that Star Wars fans can just be jerks sometimes. We can be jerks. Like, hello, let the kids enjoy their show, okay? Like, accept that you're not going to like every Star Wars project, and let the kids enjoy it.
Yeah, good. Right, how are we?
That's
all I've got in my next thing is like, you're
Yeah.
poor.
I'm poor.
Me too.
We're all poor. You know how you can help us not be poor?
Share our videos,
Just
like, subscribe.
like, subscribe. You don't need to
subscribe.
do anything. Just like and share and subscribe.
It really helps. Trust me.
It does. Like, I can't believe we're almost at 500 subscribers.
Yeah,
That's
that's
awesome. And over 1,500 on TikTok
It's
followers
mad.
wise. That's pretty
That might not
impressive.
seem a lot to a lot of people, but to
us,
us,
it means everything. You guys mean everything to us.
Well, when we hit 500 subscribers, that's going to be about 490 more than I thought we'd ever get.
Really?
Like, yeah.
yeah.
So yes, thank you guys for helping us actually get.
We were the first 3
That
subscribers.
is true, yeah.
If you help us get to 1,000, we can maybe finally set up a Patreon, which will be awesome, and then you can pay us to make this content for you,
And we'll make more of
and
it
we can
more
make
frequently.
more content
you
for
know,
you.
and better.
And maybe do some sketches. We've got some
I
ideas.
will say, every podcast we filmed has been subsequently better than the last, I think.
I felt like we've had less arguments today. I enjoyed having things to throw at you.
Yeah. No, I've been told by many people I've got a very punchable face, so I get that. Right. We're playing any games at the moment?
We started
Just kind
playing-
of, our stream games, which we did mention earlier, like Battlefront 2. I need to play more of that in my own time.
Yeah, I think so too. I really enjoyed it.
It was really quite fun, actually.
Yeah, and what's nice about it is monetization-wise, like
It's not quite there anymore.
No, it's gone.
It's
Gone.
gone. They're cutting on. The only monetization thing is maybe you can get some emotes, and that's
Okay.
it. All the characters are unlocked from the
What
beginning.
are emotes? I heard emotes.
Oh, sorry, you don't know what emote is.
Like a dance or
so-
like
so-
a
oh,
posture.
Oh, okay.
And and sometimes some victory poses and a couple of skins for the characters are locked behind money. But you don't, like, the whole game is free now.
That's cool.
And it generally feels so much nicer. Like, I remember when I first got it, it was like, you got to pay for this, you got to pay for this, you got to pay for this. And now it's just like, oh yeah, we got sued. Here's all the stuff for free.
I would love to get Squadrons. Okay, I don't know how much it would cost, but like, I would love to get like a proper
Joystick?
Joystick, hell yeah!
Yeah,
That'd
I've got a couple we can borrow, actually.
Oh, that would be
Do you want us
sick.
to play it with joystick?
What does Yoda say about that?
Don't think, feel. Be at one with the Force. The answer you seek will be found there.
Good point.
Oh, shut up!
Yoda, classic Yoda. What is he like?
Right. Yes, I want to play some more video games with you guys online, but I need monies and I need the equipment. So I need to.
We will help you with
We
that.
will assist you to get the equipment. And you guys can help too by subscribing.
I think that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, that is
I
kind
think
of
that's
it.
everything.
That's everything. We did it.
did kind of make it a bit more brief than we would have done otherwise, but
Because we are a bit stressed for time.
yeah,
They're going
but
to,
an hour and a half, that's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
going to a
we
concert.
should mention that. I suppose we're
Yeah.
going to.
Oh yeah,
Valentine Trivium.
me and Joe and Ben, who's about to turn up, are about to go to see the 20th anniversary of Bullet for My Valentine and Trivium's first ever album.
Say that slower, because like I had no diction to all that. So it's
we're going to see one of the shows for the tour of Trivium and Bullet for My Valentine's 20-year anniversary of their first albums.
oh, very, very cool.
So yeah, The Poison in 2005 and Ascendancy also in 2005, funnily enough.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Because it is now 2025. Oh my god.
Ages
20
rapidly.
years ago. Go,
Yes.
go.
Please stop that. Right. So, thank you for joining us today. We are It Starts with Star Wars. Follow us on Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, and subscribe to our YouTube. Hit that sub button. Be a good lad now.
Ding, ding, ding.
Thanks for watching, and as always, thanks for watching.
May the force be with you.
Cheerio. Goodbye.